If you or anyone around you are affected by the subjects of today's podcast, you can reach out to get help, advice, or support from our charity partners, Women's Aid, at womensaid.org.uk, or the Yorkshire-based organisation IDAS at idas.org.uk. You can also find these links and reach out to us directly via our website, takebackthebeat.co.uk, or email us at takebackthebeattour@gmail.com. That's takebackthebeattour@gmail.com.
Hello!
Hi there.
Hello. Oh, that was like a bit farmer-esque.
Where am I from?
Hello there.
Somerset.
Somerset. Anyway, welcome to a Take Back the Beat. Us now.
Oh, hello, Mariah. Who is she?
I've got this it's not COVID. Don't you feel like you have to say that all the time when you're feeling a bit under the weather? You have to go, it's not COVID, it's fine.
I coughed. It's not COVID.
It's not COVID. It's just a bit like food stuck. But I've got this cold because England doesn't know what to do with the weather. Yeah. Are we summer? Are we winter? Who the fuck knows?
Who knows right now?
Who knows? But my cold does the opposite of most people. Instead of having my voice go really low, it goes really nasal and horrid. So I sound like a small child.
So you go up an octave.
I go up.
It's impressive.
We could be like an act.
We could. I was impressed though. I was hitting Lewis Capaldi notes.
Babe, yeah. I'm proud of you. Proud of you.
Mm-hmm.
Love that life.
So, love it.
Farah's just getting over a bit of a... Were you even ill? You just had a sore throat, didn't you? You just lost your voice.
It wasn't sore though. It was... I'm genuinely convinced it's between hay fever, asthma, and acid reflux. So, if anybody wants to send me some Lanzaprazoles... some tablets, just send them my way, because I took a Lanzaprazole and a hay fever tablet and my voice came back. I had no speaking voice and I had everything was sat in my sinuses, when the hay fever starts.
Yeah.
But I think it's just because of the weather, because literally it was 20 degrees and then the day after it was I was driving home from a gig the day after in the fog. And then the day after that it was snowing and I was it's global, the world's dying.
It's global warming, yeah, 100%.
But it's fucking my body up, so stop, please.
Well, I said to you, I was sat in Green Park with my friend in shorts and a t-shirt, and then 3 days later you came down to London and it snowed. And I was like, hold on, what
hoodies
happened?
and coats on, yeah.
Yeah, we had 2 duvets on.
We did. I'm not ashamed to say that.
We cocooned in the duvet.
We had 2 full duvets, not blankets. Duvets.
The best bit, sorry you guys, this is probably not interesting for you, is my alarm went off really early because I had rehearsals and my phone was on the other side of Farah, so I just body slammed on top of Farah just to get my alarm because I was so tired.
Yeah, that's when you know you're in a point of your friendship where the other just doesn't give a shit. Because she didn't try and get over me and be like, oh, sorry. She literally just went... I don't know why I'm doing that because you can't see me, but she flopped over me and just didn't even apologise for waking me up. She was just let me just get that. I was like, okay, morning. Did not care. She just laid on top of me basically to turn her alarm off.
I was angry that you were staying in bed and that I had to travel across London.
Oh, is that what it was? Thanks.
It was complete jealousy.
Just taking it out. She will wake up.
I was like, yeah. Anyway, hey guys. Hope you're doing well and keeping warm in this winter that we have found ourselves in. Apologies if I sneeze on the podcast. I will try and cut it out if I do. But hey, this is real. This is life. So enjoy. So Farah, on a scale of 0 to a whole tub of Biscoff, how we doing, bruh?
Sorry. Well, bruv, I'm good.
Can I not pull that off?
No, please don't do that again.
Oh, okay.
I love you, but stop.
Okay.
No, I'm great. I'm actually really good.
Oh, good. Brill.
Like I said, other than the whole weather and my old woman body messing me up, I'm good. I'm quite good.
Great.
Yep. I'm excited about everything with Take Back the Beat. We've had a few meetings. We know where we're going. We know what's happening. I've been working all week. Keeping busy. Hustling,
Love
baby.
that. Hustle.
So yeah, I'm actually mentally, I'm doing good. I'm doing all right.
Wow, proud of you.
I know.
Who are you?
I don't know.
I'm proud of you.
It's a good thing though. And now, don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean that I don't like or need Biscoff. I love Biscoff. In fact, I had a little Biscoff cookie the other day with my coffee, and I was just smiling the whole time.
I love that.
Because every time I'd see Biscoff cookies or Biscoff anything, I'm just like, take back the beat. In my head, like I can't not do it.
The amount of people that send us pictures of like Biscoff biscuits in like Cafe Nero and stuff.
Yeah.
It's just like, hey guys. Yeah.
Please keep sending them, because you don't even have to say, you don't even have to like put a caption. Like, we just get it. Just keep sending us pictures of Biscoff.
It's just so nice.
It's really cool. So yeah, how are you?
Yeah. Do you know what? Like this week's been busy, but it's been good busy. And like obviously we've been chatting a lot. Well, we chat all the freaking time. But like a lot the past few days about like where we're at. And I think it definitely helped us having a meeting in person, because as much as like our friendship is a kind of a long distance relationship, like which has never really bothered us. But I think at the moment, because we're going through all this with Take Back the Beat and everything, sometimes like having it separate, it's like, oh God, like what? Oh, I don't want you to feel like I'm not doing enough, or and actually we're both killing ourselves doing enough, and we know that we are. Honestly, guys, if you heard the voice notes between me and Farah, it mainly starts with, I'm so sorry that I've not replied for an hour, or I'm so sorry that I'm gigging, or and we're like, we get it. So yeah, I think this week we've got our heads a bit more screwed on with it. It can be really overwhelming, is what I'm trying to say. Yeah. And I think, so by the time this podcast comes out, both of our episodes of Take Back the Beat will be out, which is terrifying, but at the same time, really liberating. I don't know about you, Farah, I can't talk for you, but I have felt so much better since we recorded it.
Yeah, I agree. I'm saying yes like that because, because after we did it, we did back to back, which was probably not the best idea.
No.
Emotionally and mentally. No. That was the problem. No. So we did the episodes back to back, which all in all was like a 6-hour day of just talking about
crying,
the most horrific things that we'd both been through. Yeah. So it was a lot. And then I had to like go to work and get on a stage, and it was like I couldn't process my emotions, and so it was a lot. But the day after that, I was like, oh, I felt like this huge weight had been lifted.
Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah,
I'm not embarrassed. Yeah, I don't feel I don't feel bad about it. You know, even the exposed, they have been sat in my phone for years in a hidden folder.
Yeah, and I'm so proud of you. So proud
and up
of
until
you.
Releasing them, the only person in the world that had seen them other than me was Nat. So
me,
and that was the day before they were released. So it's a big step.
Yeah, it was nothing. If you've seen the video on TikTok and on Instagram and stuff, like apologies for any trigger that we may have caused. It was graphic, but we had a conversation about it and kind of said, like, we can talk about it. We can say all the things that have happened to us and what we've been through, but a picture really does speak 1,000 words. And it is like, you see it and like, even I know everything you'd been through. And yet I saw those pictures and was like, fuck. I'm like, hold on, I know that. But it's the visual confirmation of it. Not that confirmation, that's the wrong word, because obviously I believe you, but it's the visual fuck.
Yeah.
Like, it's the same as like, if someone tells you a horror story, you don't get as scared as if they showed you pictures.
If you watch the film.
If you watch the film. Yeah, exactly. So it's that. And I was really proud of you. Obviously you said, you were like, I've got this folder and I'm happy. Well, not happy, but I'm comfortable to release the pictures. And I was like, right, I'll edit it together so you don't have to look at it. You just send me them and I do it so that you don't have to anytime. And then we put it out, and that's that. And it's terrifying, and I'm very proud of you. But I just feel a little bit more in control.
Same.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean? I feel a lot better.
It's made me, and I don't know if this is the right thing to say, but I feel empowered because it's like I finally feel that I have taken control back of what I say, what I do, like on 100, like 100%.
Absolutely. Because the reason like we don't share these pictures and these stories is it's embarrassment. It's feeling a little bit ashamed, but it's also there's a part of us protecting the truth. Do you know what I mean? Like and it is that fear, and it's that, oh God, but what if? And I said to you, like, I'm terrified that someone's going to get in contact and wherever. And actually, I want to own that.
Yeah.
And it's my story. It happened to me. I am in full, like, what's the word I'm trying to say? I am in my right.
Yeah.
To say
exactly.
That. And same
you didn't
with you.
out him, you didn't tell them the address. You know, there's a lot about the person I talk about that I don't say because that's not my life and that's not my business.
Nope.
And there are no pictures out there of us. There are no, so you know,
nope.
For all anybody knows, it could be anybody. But and that's the whole point of why we don't say the names and things like that, because it's not about them. It's about my story and whether, you know, it's like that happened to me and then I'm left dealing with that when that person's not there anymore. So therefore I can do with that what I want. And like I said, those pictures have been there since 2017.
Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
When
I forget how long
we've
known each other for.
2017.
Jesus.
Yeah. So, and now they're out there. And like I said, if it's any inkling or any, you know, if somebody's having doubts about a situation that they're in, even if it just gives them that, you know, eye opener to, or the strength that, again, you're not alone, and to get help and or just to reach out and talk to someone, you know, we've got all the links and everything, the website. So, and even us, you know.
Yeah, we're here.
Email us. Yeah.
Yeah. So this week, both of us, Biscoff, soz, mate. You're not
sorry.
needed.
I feel so bad that I made that whole bit about me then.
Oh my God, you're so selfish, Farah.
I'm sorry.
I'm joking, you tithead.
It's because we both had good weeks though. Like we both had these like liberating weeks.
Though, oh my God, I need to tell you this quickly. I haven't told you this actually yet. So yesterday, as of recording, marks the, what year was it? 2007. Sorry, trying to work this out. Right, so 15 years. It has been 15 years since I was on that cruise ship that sunk.
Wow.
As of yesterday. How fucking mental was that? What?
Mate, you have lived a fucking life. Do you know every time? Sorry.
Yeah, it's mental.
If you could see me on Zoom now, I just had a minute of like, that
happened.
That also happened to her.
Yeah. I've got a big
Holy shit.
For those who've seen it, I've got a massive pirate ship tattoo on my foot. It's actually the Jolly Roger from Peter Pan, which has two meanings. It has the meaning of I am a kid and I will never grow up. And if my parents have definitely taught me anything, it's that growing up is definitely a trick. My parents are in their 60s and they are the biggest kids I know. So it's that, but also when I was 16, I went to Henley College, which was like a sixth form thing. And we went on a cruise ship because I studied classical civilization. Who am I?
Okay, who are you? Who is she?
Which is Greek architecture, Greek mythology, like literature, and there was something else. There was 3 exams. Oh yeah, Greek mythology, Greek architecture, and Greek literature. Mate, what another life.
Bitch.
Yeah, I'm really interested in it. I love it. So we went to Greece and we did a cruise ship all around all the Greek islands, and it was incredible. But unfortunately, the boat sank and some people died, and it was terrifying. Blah blah blah. Having never been on a boat since, massive anxiety about boats, as you can imagine. But yeah, it came up on my Facebook. It's been 15 years since that. And I was like, A, I'm old. B, fuck, that actually happened. But the reason I bring it up is because I tagged my ex in it.
Oh.
And I was like, oh, good. And you know what? I saw it and I was like, that's funny. And I literally was like, that's no feelings. No, I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh God, this is a good week, isn't it? Jesus.
That's full circle.
Full circle. But
could I ask you quickly?
No.
How did you did you just get off in time? I know that sounds, because you haven't really spoke about this.
I was in my cabin and we heard this really loud noise. And then all of a sudden, a wardrobe just came flying at me. And I was like, what the fuck? And I was with my mate who literally pushed me out the way. And we were like, what the hell's going on? And then we heard this scream from outside. And we were like, what the hell? Opened our cabin door and people were just running with life jackets. And we were like, what is happening? And like, we were 16. We were on a school trip. We were like, this is probably like a drill or something. And then we literally, all I can describe it as, you know, in Titanic, when the boat tilts and they like all slide down. It was like that.
Stop it. That's the worst bit. That freaks me out.
Like we had to, like this, you couldn't go down the stairs. You kind of like shuffled down the wall. And it was like this weird tilt. And then we got to this deck bit and there wasn't enough life jackets. There wasn't enough lifeboats. And they did women and children first. That is still a thing. Yeah.
Oh, Matt, I'm so sorry. I feel I definitely knew this.
It was horrific.
But it's nothing you've ever really openly discussed with me.
It's mental that this happened. But
sorry, I've just like put you on.
No, it's fine. I mean, I brought it up. So, but yeah, then we got on a lifeboat. Do you know what? At the time, I was with my mates and we were kind of just joking and we were just like, this isn't real. And we were hearing people go, it's fine. Something's happened to the anchor. So they're taking the boat round this corner. Like we believed everything. Like,
do you think it didn't seem as scary because you like could see the shore? Like you were there. Whereas if it would have been in the middle of the ocean.
Oh, in the middle of the ocean, I'd have just stopped. I mean, it was like.
But because you were like, everybody's going to get off.
You could see into the distance that, I mean, I wouldn't have been able to have swam it, but it was there. And like there was helicopters flying everywhere and it was the middle of the day and I was with my mates and we were being told all these different things, that it was just the anchor had come down too early, or they were having to tow the boat. That was genuinely one that I believed. All this random crap. Babe, I was in a bikini top and like, do you remember the gypsy skirts?
Oh, fit, yeah.
I don't know if that's what they were called. I don't know if that's actually offensive to say that now. Is that offensive?
Oh, see, maybe.
I don't know.
I mean, if it is, we're sorry, but that's what they were genuinely called.
Do you remember like those shops, Top Class, and like the...
I know what you mean, because
Tammy Girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, they were called gypsy skirts.
Yeah.
Oh God, if I get cancelled after that, I'm really... Apologies, guys. I'm sure that's probably offensive. Who knows? But yeah, that I had one of them on and flip-flops. That's all I had with me and my phone. And literally I got in a lifeboat and got to shore. It took ages. And then the bit I'll never forget, we all got put on this, like, it was in Santorini, and we all got put on these buses. And a guy was coming through and he was like, has anyone seen these two people? And we were like, no. And obviously it was confirmed later that they didn't make it.
Oh my God.
It was horrific. You can actually go on YouTube and you can watch the boat sinking. There's a YouTube video which was from like Sky News or whatever, and you can watch the tip of the boat go under. Fucking mental, mate. It's I've got pictures of like us on the boat and stuff, and I'm like, that is under the sea now,
mate. I can hear Netflix calling. I don't know about you. Hello Netflix.
I love hello Netflix. How you doing, babe? 30 grand per episode. Thank you. Yeah, so I haven't been on a boat since. So you know when you got the offer to do the cruise ship?
Which I did, and I wondered why you didn't do it. I should have really put two and two together.
I'm terrified of cruises. Aidan says all the time, because obviously one of the shows he was in does cruises quite a lot. And he's done one of the cruises. And he says to me, like, if I ever had to like fill in for a couple of weeks, like, you should come on. And I'm like, no, babe, I'll be waving over here. Bye, honey. Have a great time. But yeah, it's been 15 years. Which
Holy
is
shit. I'm so sorry that you
oh babe, that is
you had to go through that.
Absolutely okay, my love. Whole of a world now. Like when I think back to that girl and like, it's madness. But that's our Biscoff section, to go a bit deeper for you there, guys.
That was a long
intro. Priti Patel has announced basically a new plan called, well, it just says Tackling Domestic Abuse Plan. It got launched, last week, around the 30th of March. If you guys haven't heard about it, we're going to just do a brief talk and
it was last Tuesday, wasn't it?
Yeah. We're just going to talk about it and see what the crack is really. So the statistics, babe, have you read these statistics? I mean, 2.3 million people in England experienced domestic abuse last year.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
There were 1 in 5 homicides related to domestic abuse. That's scary.
That's terrifying. That is I literally read that first line on the government website and was just like, what? And that's not even in the world. That's in the last year in England and Wales.
Yeah. 2.3 million and then 1 in 5 homicides.
That's just... And the 2.3 million people, they're only the things that have been reported.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there'll be a lot more than that who have experienced domestic abuse who haven't reported it or haven't looked for help.
Or in it now.
Or in it now. Yeah, it's terrifying, that number. So it's great that something is finally coming along with it. I know they've been in talks about some stuff. But no, do you remember that whole chat that they were going to have a phone line? Do you remember that?
No.
And it was around the Sarah Everard situation. They were going to have a phone line that women could call if they felt unsafe. And it's yeah, but are you going to get there in time? What is it? Is it a helpline?
Yeah.
I don't remember. I didn't read too much in it because I was a bit I feel like they know they need to do something, but they're not sure what.
I mean, if you feel that unsafe at that point, the police you should be calling to come, not a helpline.
Yeah. It's all very a lot.
So this movement this change that she wants is basically to help victims, and we know we don't like that word, but I am quoting right now.
Sorry.
Make it easier for them to access the help and support they need, while taking tough action against the predators. Well, against their offenders.
Yeah. Yeah.
So how is she planning on doing this? One. Did it say something? Did I read something about the compensation for people who have experienced?
There's basically there's going to be funding, isn't there? I'm trying to find that bit. Yeah, because both me and you read that and we're like, what? Supporting, right? Well, it says they're going to be funding 700 independent domestic violent and sexual violent advocate roles with additional funding for 300 roles later in the year. So that's just people to help, right?
This is what I mean. This is why we're talking about it today, because we're trying to suss all this out. They've given all these, this big speech.
Statistics.
But to be fair, they're already out there. You could Google those yourself.
Yeah.
She's given all these bullet points to make a stronger system to tackle domestic abuse across society. But how are they doing this? She's not said anything. They're basically just bullet pointing, saying that they want to be able to take it into schools and things like that, which is that's the bit that me and Nat said that's really good, because at school obviously you have your sex education and all that, but at school I didn't know what domestic abuse was. And
so we said about this. So one of the bullet points is they want to send a pack to teachers for teachers to talk about it. I mean, I'm hoping that involves teachers going on some sort of course to talk about it. You can't just send a pack.
Or
it's
they
not
bring in,
homework.
People say
bring
us,
in speciality. Yeah.
Into schools to talk to kids. You have those days, don't you? So, but again,
PSHE.
Yeah, she hasn't specified. Yeah. So what is it that they're going to do? Because I think they need to reach out to people like us, or people who are on a higher platform and Women's Aid, to know how to tackle this, to know how to deal with people who are going through it, been through it. Because if they haven't themselves, her just bullet pointing shit and saying we need to get into schools. Yeah, but how are you going to do that? How are you going to reach children?
And also, what I want to know is, with this whole reaching children, are they going to do the typical thing of, do you remember at school, I'm sure you had this, when someone came in and they spoke you through how not to get raped? Do you remember this?
We didn't have that.
Or how how not to get attacked. I had a policeman come into my school that told us, don't wear your hair in a ponytail because it's easy to grab. Never have headphones in because you can't be aware of your surroundings. Never walk home alone. Never be on the phone. All these ways that I can prevent getting raped and attacked. I mean, it didn't really work because I've been attacked in London 3 times. But anyway, because when are we going to stop teaching the people who are vulnerable? Mm-hmm. And if you see women as, I hate using the gender terms and stuff, but if we're going into, I went to an all-girls school, so they talked to us about being attacked.
Yeah.
But I said to my boyfriend, I was like, did you ever get taught how not to attack women? And he was like, no, what ridiculous question. And I was like, well, I know, but why did then we get taught this? So when they're going into schools, what are they going to be teaching? Are they going to be teaching looking for red flags? Or are they going to be teaching how violence is bad? Violence is not, I'm so sorry, is that mine? I'm going to just quit WhatsApp on my laptop because it might be that. Yeah, are they going to start teaching violence is bad in every circumstance? We're not really going to talk about this because, I mean, me and Farah have talked about it at arm's length, but the Oscars situation shows that, and it has split on social media of people being like, oh, he deserved it, or he was just standing up for his wife, blah, 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 all this sort of stuff. But at the end of the day, violence is never the answer. Never.
No.
It doesn't matter what's happened.
That comes out of someone's mouth, unfortunately, however harsh and horrible, should then condemn violence.
Yeah, 100%.
Is that the right
word? But unfortunately, I think so. I'm with you. I understood what you meant. But unfortunately, if you Google the Oscars, the only things that came up was that.
That's true.
It wasn't about the fact that a second deaf person won an Oscar. There's these amazing, incredible things that happened this year. I'm really animated with my hands today. I'm so sorry you can't see it, but Farah's enjoying this.
We are recording this though, so
oh yeah, so
if you go to our Patreon, you can watch us record these live.
And see how ridiculous I look doing it. But yeah, it's very in the papers that, oh, do you think he was right or do you think he was wrong? And it's like, no. Fundamentally, it doesn't matter who he is. I love Will Smith. I was a huge fan of Fresh Prince of Bel-Air growing up, huge fan. But I do not accept that behaviour, no matter what the reason was. And me and you said, what if it had been a woman? What if it was 2 women? If it had been a man and a woman? What does that change the dynamic? It shouldn't.
The Oscars, where's the security?
Where you at?
Yeah. Because if that was a random person that just stood up from the audience and started walking towards the stage, do you fucking think for 1 second that you'd even get close to that first step?
Yeah.
So if the Oscars know that this is not a part of the thing, part of the rehearsals that they've had.
Yeah, not a bit or whatever.
Why did nobody come out? Also, why did nobody come out after?
Why did no one make an apology?
I know him. Where was security? They let him sit back down, unbutton his jacket, and then scream some more shit at him.
Yes.
And then he had to carry on with his job. That's disgusting. And now they're trying to cover it up by saying, oh, the Oscars tried to remove him at the after party, but he refused. No, you don't try. You fucking get rid.
Yeah. If that, like you said, if that had been someone who didn't have that name,
there's no remorse.
It's not right.
I saw a video of Will Smith afterwards, and again, I loved Will Smith, and I saw a video of Will Smith after dancing at the after party to his own song, living his best life because he'd won this Oscar. He had no remorse,
which is
whatsoever.
amazing. Congratulations on the Oscar.
You did an incredible job, but violence is never the answer. Never.
No. And it should be taught that because, again, going back to kind of gender stuff, we are kind of taught as kids that men fight men and that's okay, and women can fight women and that's okay, but men shouldn't fight women. And it's such a freaking old and dated philosophy.
It's bullshit,
because no one should hit anyone.
No,
it's bullshit. And there is domestic violence in same-sex couples, in trans couples, in non-binary couples, in lesbian couples. It exists everywhere. And I want to know when these guys are going into schools what they're teaching. And are they teaching boys as well that this can happen, and like I'm saying, I was in secondary school when I found myself in this relationship, and to be honest, even though I was getting abuse, because I was so young, my brain never went to this is domestic violence.
No.
Because domestic violence is what happens in Jennifer Lopez films. Like,
enough.
That's in a brilliant
What
film.
a film.
But that's an old. She had kids. That was an adult. I'm not an adult, so this can't be domestic violence. This is just passion. This is just how we figure out who we are.
Exactly, and it's not. And that's
not.
That's what I mean. They need to give more detail. How are they going about this? Like you said, if they're sending a pack, who are they sending that to?
Yeah.
Teachers?
Is it someone who's going to be sensitive about it?
Like
what?
Are they going to have to go on, like you said, a course? To deliver, it's the delivery of it as well. You need to know exactly what to say, how to go about it, how to answer the correct questions. And if they're just getting sent a pack, or they're not having, an outside perspective going in to talk to these kids and do presentations, then how are they going to? They're wasting the money.
Yeah, because if me and you know, like, we've been kids at school, you're not listening to certain things.
No.
Like, I've even done it. So I've been doing a school tour with my new song and talking about the backstory of my song. And I talk about PTSD and how blah, blah, blah. Not to be ashamed and ask for help. Mental health. Yay. And the amount of teachers that come up to me afterwards and they go, we've been preaching this for months, but they don't listen to us. But they listen to outsiders. So is there going to be funding for that? I mean, the one thing I was going to say is there's a statement by the chief executive of Women's Aid, Farah, who reach out, absolute preach queen.
Yeah.
Hey, Women's Aid. She's made a statement that I'm really interested by.
Okay.
And she says, we know there is funding gap for many local domestic abuse services, including the services by and for Black and minoritized women. And then it says, we ask the government to ensure that no woman is turned away because of circumstance. And I just read this and I was like, hold on, are people being turned away from refuge? Like, what? Is that a thing? And then it says, because of insufficient funding, this is an important plan that needs to be rolled out. And I'm like, okay, so what? We need to look into that, because why should a white person over a Black person, and why should, do you know what I mean? That I don't understand that. We are women. If you are looking for refuge for women. But I was like, hold on, is there a divide there? Is there...
Oh, wow, okay.
Is there racism in this sort of stuff that we haven't really heard of? Because I've never seen that, but then...
We haven't been in that position to see it. I haven't experienced that.
Yeah. So I just read that statement and I wanted to know more as to why. So that's
and is that
research I need to do.
Has she put that out to Priti Patel?
That's on the government website link that I sent you, and that we will put a link to in this podcast. It's just the government website. Sorry, but if you scroll down,
has she as in a reply to Priti Patel's new movement?
Yes.
Okay,
so I think these are all quotes from people from there's the National Police Chiefs Council leads. Yes. There is Women's Aid, all this sort of stuff. So that's Farah's reply. I mean, it all seems very positive, but they again are saying things like, we're excited to see the launch and the first step, because it's all well and good them saying we want to do this.
It's incredible. It's absolutely incredible that this is all being brought to light. But what we don't want to happen is for them to spend this, however much money that they're planning on spending.
Yeah,
they're saying a combined total of £2 million a year for help with the helplines, but it needs to be the correct way of doing it. And I'm sorry, but by knowing that, you need to have been through it. They need to be going to Women's Aid and asking them how they can do this in the correct way to not waste money.
Yeah.
And putting it in the wrong place or giving the wrong messages. Like, if there's a gap there and a divide, then put it there as well.
Because absolutely. Also, if there is some sort of racism going on here, we also need to tackle that too.
Let's do that as well.
Like, why does one case, there's a quote here that says all cases are different, 100%, but they all should be treated with the same sensitivity and the same respect.
I don't know how they go about it, but I'm guessing the more sensitive cases, maybe if there's children involved.
Yes,
that's the
possibly,
only way to me that there's a line. There shouldn't be.
Yeah.
But if there are children, maybe that's how you get bumped to the front. That's the only way I'd be like, okay, if these small children, their lives are in danger, even then that's a shit thing to say. But to me, if there's a divide, that would be the only...
That'd be the only one.
The one that I'd be like, okay, maybe.
I just, it's the fact that it says turned away. And I'm like, if people are being turned away, is that because of lack of funding, because of lack of resources? What's the reason behind that? And how do we change that? And is, obviously I know this new movement they're trying to do will put more money into that. So hopefully that will be for more jobs so that people can help more. Another thing on it that me and Farah have kind of been discussing, and we don't know where we stand on this, is let me just find it on the government website because I want to make sure it's right.
Please bear with us because we've got a few different links up and things, so we wanted to come on and just comb through it all with you instead of writing it all out like it was scripted. Are you talking about the bank account thing?
Yes.
Let me... Options, for creating a new register for domestic abusers, which could require the perpetrators to take actions such as reporting to the police when changing address or opening a bank account with a new partner. So, do you want to start?
So, in layman's terms, that's saying that... I don't know if it's saying that they will be contacted or whether you'd have to find out. But so basically, if you're with someone and you open a bank account with them or you change address, therefore living with them, you move in with them, you would get notified that that person has been either convicted or has been charged or has on their record domestic violence. The problem I see with this is, so me and Aidan, we have a joint account and we moved in together. And when we did that, we were 2 years into a relationship.
This is the thing.
Yeah.
To me,
I was in love.
Moving home and changing of the address. I know things happen quickly sometimes. I've got friends who have moved in with their partners after 6 months, but still 6 months is too long. Also, opening a joint bank account with someone, that's way too far in a relationship. That's too far down the line for somebody to go, oh, we've been together for 3 years and I've just found out this is your criminal record and you are a sex offender or an abuser. What are we going to do about that then? Because I'm already madly in love with you.
I'm already in.
I'm already in it. This is where the problem is. Because this is why people don't leave in the first place. So you've taken that away from those people to be able to decide before they get any deeper in, because they're already in. Yeah. I mean, like I said, there might be people out there who meet the love of their life and the next day they've moved in. That's fair enough. But again, you're already in love with this person. I didn't have a joint bank account with my partner at all at any point, and it was 5 years in and we were engaged.
So when did you have been told?
Exactly. So when I have got the phone call. So for them...
And also, like, sorry to jump on you for that.
No, it's fine. It just pisses me off.
We read this the other day and we both were like, we had to read it several times because we were like, hold up.
Are we getting that right?
I also... like I know married couples who don't have a joint account. I know couples that have been together for 10 years that don't have a joint account. Like me and Aidan did it because it's easier for like rent and whatnot, but that's our personal decision. But I'm sorry, 2 years in, if that person is an abuser and is still going to continue to abuse, then I've probably already bloody done it by then. I'd already probably know. Mm-hmm. I don't need someone to call me up and tell me. I already know. Yeah. Because I'm 2 years in. Like
I'm in. Yeah. Nah, I need help now.
If you're getting a joint bank account, if you're moving in together, you probably already know, and you're madly in love with them at that point anyway, because that's a lot of trust. So that's too late.
And if on the bad side of it, if they haven't, if you find out this 3 years in, and then they haven't yet, because it could still happen, they haven't yet shown any signs, and then you go, oh yeah, but you've not done it to me, so that's fine.
And I want to know where did they stand?
In 4 years' time, something explosive might happen that you never saw coming, and that's risked your life. Yet, 4 years prior, you did see that this person has committed this crime in their past, but because they'd not done it to you yet, you were like, oh, it's okay.
But that's the then problem. Where do you stand? Because at the end of the day, people do change, and people get help, and people try. And I like to think of humanity, the goodness in humanity, and people can change. I'm saying that with hope in my voice, because I think we need that in this world. Like,
I agree. We are talking extreme cases at this point.
Yes,
but these are the
100%.
Extreme cases.
100%. But where do you stand as a person? So, right, say, Farah, you get with a guy 2 years down the line, open joint account, you get a phone call, hey, he was in prison for this. And you then go, I'm going to ignore that and I'm going to live my life. I believe this person has changed. And 2 years later, he puts you in hospital, whatever, this situation happens. Where do you then stand with help from government, from victim support? Because you already knew he was an abuser. So is there then going to be help for you, or are people going to be, well, you did already know?
Yeah, well, this is in place, so you did know. You could have prevented it.
Yeah, we did tell you.
So then it comes back to victim
what that feels
shaming
like to me.
again. And then we're all the way back at the beginning where nobody dare reach out because you got told, well, you knew what it was like when you opened a joint bank account.
This is where I worry, because it's amazing. Like we said, it is amazing that they are finally trying to take it seriously, and it's a woman in charge of this, and they're reaching out to people, and it's being spoken about a lot more. Great, amazing. There are holes in this plan, and okay, this is just a brief. It might be this. We're hoping for this. It's not specific, but when are we going to get specific? And is it going to cover everything? And where I still believe in, we need to prevent it from happening at all.
The thing is, the other reason why we are picking holes at this, but that's our job. This is what we do.
That's what we do.
It's what we're here to do. But I do know that there is something in place at the minute where if you have a young child or a child that lives with you, and say you're a single parent and you meet a new partner of any gender, whatever. If you want this person to live with you, I know that if you have a child, a minor, that you can ring up and ask for their criminal record. Because
you've told me. I never knew this. You told me this.
I didn't.
I never knew.
So I know somebody who did that. And because they had a child with them. Obviously, I think I don't know the ins and outs, but I do know that it's because this person was about to move in with them. Now, whether you can do this if you have a minor and you've met someone and they're going to be in the same space, you've got every right to see if they're a predator.
Yeah.
In the sense of if they've ever been done for exposure or any, you don't want them around your child. So I know that this person then got this other person's record up and it said everything. It wasn't just, it said about all the domestic abuse stuff. Yeah. And you have a right to access that. So if anybody's listening, anything like that, if you have a minor, you have every right to access, because you are putting your child in the presence of of somebody else. Or if you move in them in or anything like that, you actually can access that. And I didn't know that. But then this person then 6 months later put her in hospital, even though she knew his background. Because she was at a point where she was introducing her children to him, therefore in love with him, saw his criminal background, ignored it, and 6 months later she was in hospital with broken ribs.
Jesus.
So it's a difficult one, because again, if that's not working, it's the same plan that we've just been talking about, that they're trying to bring.
Yeah.
With the bank accounts, again, it's too far in. You're too far in.
Yeah.
And then again, if you make the wrong decision through love or through whatever, then it's your fault. You're made to feel like it's your fault if something does happen, because these plans were put in place.
Yeah.
It's
like that's the thing that I worry about, is the victim shaming. I do hate using that word, and I hate reading this government thing that use that word. Fuck ton. Though I love Farah from Women's Aid. Doesn't, she says survivors, and I'm like, queen, just queen.
Yeah, whenever we say it on this episode, you all know that we don't use the V word.
Yeah,
it's because we are quoting from what we're
Yeah,
reading,
we are quoting.
you guys. This is the whole package that we're reading.
Yeah. Apologies if anyone is triggered by that word. What was I going to say? I don't even know where my brain is. That was it. Victim blaming, which we're very aware of, and it's one of the reasons that we do feel ashamed and embarrassed a lot, is because, again, we've spoken about this on this podcast so many times, of like when people say, but you saw the red flags and you didn't leave, or why didn't you leave? Why would you put up with that? I didn't know you would do that. Very much those feelings. And then imagine saying, so you imagine you tell your family and your friends, like your closest and people you need help from, you go, I've just had this phone call. What do I do? Like, I'm in love with this guy and we're going to get married and have babies and we're getting a joint account. What do I do? Because the people make mistakes. Maybe it was a mistake, wherever.
Yeah.
Those
like,
are the people.
If you're pregnant, or what if you're that far in that you're like, well, what do I do?
But then what happens if it does then happen to you, unfortunately, but the first thing people will say is,
it was your fault.
But you were told. And that's, don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that get rid of this register altogether, it's a bad idea. I just think it's far too in. Like, it just doesn't seem, it doesn't seem enough. It seems half-assed.
Yeah.
Like, it...
right, okay, imagine we do to keep everyone's life, like,
Yeah, we're doing something.
Yeah, we're doing something, so...
Yeah.
We don't want it to be invasive to people when, going up to your partner and going, right, I've met you a week ago, what's your criminal record like? There's a line that they've tried to not cross, but they're still too far away from what it needs to be.
Yeah, it's human rights, isn't it? And it's things, I don't know. This is very much the first step, and this is the baby step, and we've had this idea. Do you remember when we actually started speaking about Take Back the Beat and we said, right, this is what we want to do. This is the end game. How do we do it?
Yeah.
That's what this feels like. This feels like, right, we know there's a problem, especially after lockdown. We are fully aware that lockdown, the World Cup, all that sort of stuff, all these things very much escalated domestic abuse and unfortunately homicide. It just did. So I think it's great that they've gone, right, there is a problem, we need to fix it, but I need more.
Yeah, like, obviously there are bits here, like a doubling of funding for the National Domestic Abuse Helpline. And they're saying,
amazing.
Yeah, so that's great, like, because you're saying that, I understand it. They're saying on an average they have 15,000 users every 3 months.
Fuck.
Yeah, that's
mental.
So the combined total of 2 million a year, right? So that's great. You're telling me that you're going to double that funding for the helplines, for the information that we give out on our podcast, because we know those things help because they've helped us. So that's great. I'm with you on that one. I'll tick that box. You've told me exactly what it is. We need the helplines. We need everything like that.
Yeah.
But then there's other things like, and this is me, I genuinely don't understand this. So I'm going to say it now because I don't get it. So please tell me if you know what it means, because I might sound like an absolute idiot right now. So working with the National Police Chiefs Council to review forces which record the highest rates of domestic homicide and serious domestic abuse crimes. What does that mean? Why are you putting money there? What does that mean?
Work to support police to help.
To
identify and reduce the risks. What are you reading? I'm trying to find out where you are.
Oh, sorry. So, prioritizing prevention. But you're talking about highest rates of domestic homicides. So that's not preventing it. Are you looking into homicides that have already happened due to domestic abuse? Is that a really stupid thing to say, or am I just not understanding it? Because even though I've said it out loud, I still don't understand what it means.
I'm not entirely sure, but it kind of comes across as like they're working with the police to go back over cases to record the highest rates of domestic homicide. I don't really know why.
Yeah.
Like, I don't, that's a very, And that's under prioritizing prevention.
Yeah.
So I'm like, which record the highest rates of domestic homicide and serious domestic abuse crimes.
So I want more information on that. So again, that's something that I don't understand. Why are you prioritising that?
Yeah, and why? Why? Because it sounds like they're going to go through records and see about the highest rates of domestic homicide and domestic abuse crimes. Why? What are you going to find if there's a link? Are you going to find, like, what does that mean? And that is a prioritising prevention bullet point. I don't know what that... This is the thing with, like, the government... I'm going to go into politics here, but this is a lot of problems I find with the government is, like, jargon. And, like, they kind of put words into a sentence that look like they should be good and make us happy. And yet you read it and you go, like, do you remember the graphs in COVID?
God. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
If anyone listening to this podcast understood those graphs, please email in and just give me a run through. Because, mate, I was like, what? When can I see my loved ones?
Yeah, just give me a date and I'll...
Just give me a date.
Yeah.
And I don't know if that's what this is. Maybe it's, I don't know. It needs more. It needs an explanation, and it needs what they're going to do with those numbers that they find.
Yeah, that's what I mean. There's incredible things on here that I'm like, yes, but then there's stuff like that, and I'm like, I've had to read that 7 times because I don't understand what you're trying to tackle there.
Yeah, I don't get that.
Because that's like in the prevention, prioritising prevention. Working with national police. Me saying it again. Working with national police. I'm like, if I slow it down, will it go in?
Maybe it's like,
it's the record the highest rates. Like, is that so we can eventually have a statistic of?
Maybe. I'm kind of thinking, when like they used to put serial killers, they used to like go and interview them and find out how their brains worked and all this sort of stuff, so they could see if there's a pattern. That's where my brain's gone to that, but it's not that. I honestly have no idea. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot on here that looks great, and there's a lot of figures and a lot of numbers and statistics, which is always terrifying and also hopeful that they're going to do something. I mean... Yeah, this one, the stronger system thing, I definitely think is great.
Yeah, I'm just going through that now again.
So they've got the Ask for Annie code word. There's the Ask for Angela. I don't know if you guys have heard of this in clubs they do and like bars.
Yeah,
and if you feel unsafe,
there's one in my local.
Yeah, Ask for Angela.
Yeah.
The problem with
can I book a taxi for Angela? Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
The problem with this is a lot of people know it, including abusers, including this. So sometimes I've seen the posters and gone, would I feel safe to say that in front of an abuser? I don't know. Yeah. But it's a great system and it's freaking brilliant. Me and Farah spoke about, there's a TikTok trend where it's a hand gesture that you do and to someone and to say, I need help, I'm in danger. It's an incredible video of a woman doing it to a small kid, and the kid is like tugging on her mum, being like, look, and it's amazing. So that is, I 100% agree with that. Mm-hmm. And they're saying the expansion to be piloted in job centre offices across the UK. Great, yep. That's great for people who go to the job centre.
Yeah.
What about regular offices?
Yeah.
What, like, if I sometimes work in an office to get a bit of extra cash, because, self-employed musician.
Hustle, baby.
Hustle. And I can guarantee if I said that to my boss, he'd be like, Annie doesn't work.
We don't need that here. He wouldn't know what it was,
Who's an Annie? Yeah, like, so is that going to... Great that it's starting small, but is there more? Amazing.
I do like, I like the, so 7.5 million over 3 years.
I was about to say,
to enable healthcare professionals to better identify, refer and support victims and survivors of domestic abuse. That's great because, does that mean safeguarding, like if you apply for anything to do with children or the, elderly, vulnerable, we obviously have safeguarding courses.
Yes.
I had one when I went to teach in like an academy. I'm sure you've had them now. I also, when I was a carer.
I was about to say, when you were a carer, I'm sure you did them.
Yeah. So does that mean that's going to kind of add a lot more of abuse into those, like, into the program to expand that? You know, when you go on these courses.
Yeah.
You know, to identify and refer and support. Because like you said, especially when I worked with children, that was a huge part of my safeguarding course. To do with like, because it was dancing. So obviously it was to do with like if you see any bruising or anything like that, or, you know, if these sort of, they come over and say these sort of words to you, like there's a point of when do you report it?
Yeah.
You know, because they're big allegations.
Yeah.
So is that the sort of training that they're going to give to people?
I think so.
Is that what that means?
And yeah, I think so. And like maybe like, you know, in hospitals, you know, when like you go into a hospital and you've to use the cliche like tripped and like I was going to say falling downstairs, but that feels inappropriate.
No, that's fine.
I was like, oh shit, that is the cliche, and like, sorry, babe. Or like, or walked into a door. I used to say that one quite a lot.
I used to say that, yeah.
Or PA system.
My PA system, yeah. God.
Whichever one. Yeah. Like my mum always says, there was one I used to say, in our old house we had this like, you know, a banister on the staircase. And I said, oh no, I've hit myself on the banister. And my mum said to me, she's like, it was the wrong height. And I knew.
Yeah.
But you've said that. And I think that's kind of what this means as well, is like to enable healthcare professionals to better identify those situations and maybe if you go to your GP for something and they notice something, can you say something else? How they go about sensitively asking the question without going, hey, are you being abused?
Yeah.
Like, yeah, so I think
it's the
that's
same sort
amazing.
of thing that you, like I said, that you have in schools now for like teachers and stuff to say to children,
100%.
And how you go about it and approach situation. But now they're doing it on another level,
which is
great,
amazing.
Great.
That round of applause. That yes,
done.
100 million.
You can have another tick for that one.
Yes. And then it's about the police.
Yeah, more work to support police to help identify and reduce the risks of suicide in cases involving domestic abuse. I also don't like that word, so I apologise because I was just about to not say it.
Yeah.
Trigger. I'm sorry about that for anyone who's triggered.
Well, this from I don't really want to say too much because I don't know the ins and outs. I hate when I talk about stuff that I don't know factually. But there was a woman and her 2 children killed a couple of weeks back in Yorkshire, and the friend had already gone to the police and said, this guy is going to kill my friend, please help. And they did nothing. And they said he hasn't done anything to her for us to do anything. And this woman, she's doing lots of publicity things at the moment, trying to raise awareness, because she is like, I went to the police and they did nothing.
There's so much kind of when you hear people say, if anything happens to me, it's so and so, and then it happens, and you're like, well, what
could I have done?
Why did nobody help? Why did nobody do anything?
Yeah, it's really harsh.
I got told when I went to the police that I couldn't file. I couldn't charge him because it happened in another country and there were no proof.
What?
That's what they said to me. Because it happened.
What? So you meant to have gone to the Mexican police?
Yeah, that's what they said.
Oh, I think you briefly touched on this in your podcast, but I was an emotional wreck at the time, watching my friend cry, so I probably didn't take that in. Yeah, that's bullshit.
And I'm like, but he's not he's not from Mexico. So, and again, I didn't know that. I didn't know that if I went home and told the police that nothing could be done, but I also didn't,
bullshit.
Like, who'd you ring for the police in Mexico? I don't know. Like, I didn't know.
Yeah.
And then to be told, oh, no, you shouldn't have waited. But I'm like, but this did happen. Yeah, well, sorry, we can't do anything about that incident. Absolutely nothing.
I did read somewhere that they were trying to make it was a longer time that you could come forward and say. The government has also introduced new measures in our police crime sentencing and courts bill, which will give victims of domestic abuse longer to report offences.
Oh.
which is great. I mean, that doesn't help you being in a different country. That's because it should be where you reside. No, it should be you are a resident of.
Well, that's what I thought.
I don't know.
But again, I didn't know this
pathetic.
because, again, domestic abuse then, even
Wasn't
in that part of my relationship years ago, wasn't. I didn't know the ins and outs of it.
Yeah, bullshit. Sorry, I'm actually
Because
quite
it wasn't
angry
talked
about
about. Nobody talked about it ever.
Yeah. How are you to know that, like, also, I'm not being funny, you were on holiday with him?
Yeah.
You weren't with, like, a support system where you could have gone, please, someone take me. Like, can you imagine if you turned around to him and went, oh, babe, I'm just going to go report you to the police?
Yeah, could I? I'll see you in an hour. I'm just going to jump in a taxi in a foreign country, go to the police station in a foreign country, and then report.
And try to
report as a tourist what happened to me the night before.
No.
But then when I got home, it didn't mean anything, even though I have found the strength to somehow
do something about it.
They then turned me away.
Fuck's sake.
I'm not saying obviously it's their fault because it's not, but but they should have done better. It made me go, oh, maybe it's not as bad as I thought then.
Yeah, that is the problem.
Because I was like, oh, well, they didn't take it seriously. They just told me off for not. Why didn't you do something about it over there then? So then I felt like dog
victim
shit.
shaming.
I was like, I should. Yeah. Well. Yeah.
Oh, mate, I'm so sorry. I'm really angry for you there. I don't know why that bit, especially, that's fucked me right off. Because, like you said, it takes so much strength to come forward and to find someone who could actually do something about it and potentially put him in jail, and then for you to just be like poo-pooed aside.
I mean, everything else, the other things that happened here, they were great with.
Yeah.
But the rest of it, like the first time I went to report that, they just poo-pooed it and said they couldn't do anything about it because it didn't happen in this country. Yeah, but again, like I didn't know. I didn't even know that was a thing.
Yeah, I didn't know it was a thing. So we learn something new every day, guys. Learn something new every day, and hopefully that'll be fucking changing soon.
Yeah.
But like we said, we're really glad that something is being done and it's being spoken about. And amazing, Priti Patel, thank you so much. Like, yes, let's do this, but let's do it right. If you've got the money to do it, come on, we can do this. And who knows, we could actually really make a difference in stopping this and preventing unnecessary deaths and sadness and depression. Like this could change things.
Oh, 1,000%. This is why we're picking it, because it has so much potential. As soon as we saw it, we were like, oh my days, this is incredible.
This is great.
This is everything we've ever wanted when we started this. But we just need to it needs to be in the right places, the right way. Otherwise, it's like, well, we're wasting money, you're wasting time, and you're wasting resources if you don't do it right.
Yeah, 100%. So please, guys, go and read about it. Like, tell us your thoughts. Maybe we are just being absolute dicks and this is amazing. Just write in, tell us.
Hey,
we're at takebackthebeattour@gmail.com. We do. We all have opinions, and I'm not going to apologise for any of mine unless they are offensive and I've done it wrong. I don't know. I've got a cold. I don't know what's happening with my life. But yeah, please write in. Tell us your opinion on this. And we'll try and keep us updated on what is happening.
Yes.
And fingers crossed, things change.
Yeah. But thank you everyone again for listening and tuning in and supporting us and supporting everything that we do.
Yes,
it's an incredible feeling.
Please.
Let's do this.
Stay with us.
Stay with us.
Yes. I was going to say, have you got a win of the week? But I kind of feel like this is a win of the week.
Yes.
This is a big fucking deal.
Yeah.
And we're not taking it away from it. We're just nitpicking because we're being devil's avocado here.
It's what we're here to do, though. We're part of it. We're not. We are a huge part of it. We've been part of this system for everything that we've been through. Therefore, we have a right to talk about it.
And we have a right to have an opinion on it too. And please, I love a debate and I love being proved wrong. So if you guys, if we've said anything, prove us wrong. If we've said anything that you're like, no, this means this or whatever, and please write in, tell us. We want to hear from you guys. I'd really love to get like someone from the police force who deals with this on. I wonder if we can do that.
Ooh. If anybody out there who listens knows anyone, or you yourself
come at
work
us
in this department of the police or anything like that, let's have you on. Like,
yeah,
that sounded so threatening. I'm so sorry. I was like, let's have you on, but I didn't mean it in that way. Like, we want to talk to you, is what I mean.
We want to talk to you. Yeah,
that'd be great.
That would be,
because obviously there are some rules that we know about. Because obviously, like the one where I said different countries, etc. But there are other things that we don't know about, and that we'd love to talk about and know where you stand if you're going through this, and how to go about things correctly. Because again, it's not known. Nobody Googles that stuff.
No one sits there. I mean, Farah dives deep into North Korea and the population of Tokyo, but that's just Farah's brain.
Listen, I've told you now what I'm on, and I can't even bring myself to say it. Okay, fine, I will.
Oh God, here we go. Are you ready this week, guys, for Farah's Netflix recommendations?
No, for real. So I was watching. Okay, so this is how it gets me, and I'm going to say his name because everybody loves him. So if everybody loves him, they might think I'm not crazy. Okay. So Joe Rogan.
Right, yeah.
His podcast, he has people talking about like everything from UFOs to what happens after you die, to politics, to everything. So I stumbled across this podcast of he was talking to a guy, forgive me, I can't remember his name, but it's basically somebody who used to be like in the military. He served in Afghan, this American guy, and he went on this like South American trip because he was diving into I don't even say it, I sound stupid saying it. Right. It's called I think it's called Hunting Hitler or Finding Hitler. But they're convinced because there's such a like big German population in where is it now? Name some places not in South America. Argentina.
Sure.
And they all speak German. Basically, there's this whole thing, and there's all this evidence that leads to the fact that, and this is the true fact that got me, because at first I was like, I'll listen, but I don't know. But then, so the so-called, but I don't know how to say. So the body that they said was Hitler's after he did what he did,
the corpse,
yes,
the corpse.
He basically 60 years later, they did a DNA test on it, and it was that of a woman. It wasn't him.
Right.
This is actual public knowledge. Sorry, Mike. I've just screamed down the microphone. Mike, I'm sorry.
She literally just like attacked the camera then. Fucking hell.
This is public. Sure. Oh, don't. My veins come out on my forehead because I got excited then. This was public knowledge. So then that was it.
Okay.
That's when I was down my rabbit hole, because I was like, that can't be true. This cannot be fucking true. There's a whole documentary on it.
So they basically believe that Hitler is...
It wasn't just Hitler, though. Alive. There was a lot of... And again, this is true. A lot of, like, the officials that were high up Nazis did flee to South America. And they've got, like, ancestors and kids and all sorts there now. Like, that's an actual thing. Like, some of them died there. Some of them were found and brought back for trials. But there was a lot of them that were never found and brought back for trials.
Wow.
Yeah, exactly. See, you're with me now. You thought I was crazy about 3 minutes ago. And don't tell me, Mike, you're not sat Googling this right now while you're listening, because I know it. So enjoy your next rabbit hole.
Oh, God,
We should do a segment on here called Farah's Rabbit Hole. That sounds so wrong.
Yeah, we'll workshop that name.
We'll work on the name. Oh, my God, I can't believe I just said that.
On that note, I think Farah needs food. I think this is what's happened. Lack of food. Fucking hell.
Cut all of this out, mate. We're going to scratch that shit. Wow. Never.
Right. We love you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and we will be back next week. Peace out. A-Town.
I love you all. Bye. Fucking hell.
We do apologise if anyone was triggered by any of the dialogue we used today. We are still learning and we are only just beginning to talk about our own experiences. We're aware that trigger warnings are completely different for everybody, so please bear with us. We love you all. We also want to hear your experiences. If there's anything you'd like to share with us, any stories, anything you are happy to discuss on this podcast, you can stay anonymous if you would like. Please send us an email at takebackthebeattour@gmail.com. That's takebackthebeattour@gmail.com. You can also find us on social media at Take Back the Beat. Thanks, guys. We love you all.